Mancho Boy, are you a Swiftie?
A Swiftie.
I guess not if you can't answer that.
Oh, we're talking about Tay-Tay?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, of course. Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah.
If it's good enough for The Rock, it's good enough for me, my friend.
Oh, sure, then that's enough. So Taylor Swift, it's been reported she has generously shelled out a whopping $100,000 in bonuses for the truckers on her Eras tour. $100,000 each.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the tour made $1 billion, right?
So
yeah, good for her.
They're about 50 truckers, so it's totaling about $5 million she just gave out in bonuses. For these guys. And then also gave bonuses to like her band members, the dancers, the lighting and sound technicians, caterers, basically her whole team. That number hasn't been reported, but the truckers have gotten $100,000 each.
First off, I mean, it's the most successful tour ever, right? And then all these parents spending $1,300, $1,500, $2,000 like a ticket. And this would never, all right. I was watching, did you watch TMZ yesterday?
I didn't.
Oh, come on, Chris.
I watched American Gladiators.
Okay.
Like 3 hours.
I watch both, but all right.
He was at the drugstore.
I do show prep.
I know.
All right. So, Mark Zuckerberg not only made the bracelets and everything, the friendship trading bracelets and everything, but he actually bedazzled his face. He literally put the rhinestones on his face. I don't know if that's a Swiftie thing. And then brought the kids and took them up to the luxury box and all that kind of stuff. All right, number one. He is essentially a captain of industry he's a modern day incarnation of a captain of industry. He's the richest man, one of the 5 richest people on the planet, right? So it would have been like an old, like a steel merchant or a railroad merchant or like one of these Rockefellers, like one of these Getty, one of these. Could you imagine those guys bedazzling their face, showing up at an Al Jolson concert to try to impress their kids? You know what I mean? Like they would, if their 12-year-old came in and said to Andrew Carnegie, "I need you to put stick shit to your face and get your best T-shirt and come." He would have thrown his brandy snifter at that person and then told the help not to let their kid into his study.
Why, that would be as absurd as Vince Lombardi growing his wiener. Right.
That's right.
Are people too proud, Ace? Are people too proud?
Can you see that him and his wife bedazzled their face, put stick-on rhinestones, and then made Taylor Swift friendship bracelets? This whole thing, and listen, I'm guilty of it too. Sheck, you probably are to some degree. We need to win over our kids. That's a thing that somehow I missed. And my dad never felt like he had to win me over for anything. There was just one big long, could I have a ride? No. Could I have some? No. I just want to get a slushie at the 7. No. How about a basketball hoop? No. How about a dog? No. You want to keep going? We can keep going.
I believe you.
I have an unlimited pile of no's all stacked up like a Pez dispenser to the moon. And every time you just flick Popeye's head, one more no is going to just drop down. So keep going, boy.
It's funny you say that because something that I've noticed around this Taylor Swift thing, but in general, there's been this emergence of dads being way too proud of having daughters. This is like...
Oh, they don't mean it. They're disappointed.
There's a 50-50... It's a 50-50 proposition. Girl dad, I think
don't like it.
That's what they're announcing to the world is like, look at this. I went to Taylor Swift or I did this thing that only my daughter would enjoy. I don't enjoy doing this. What they're announcing to the world is, I'm doing this and I'm not enjoying it. And that's exactly right. Because, of course, what is the point of braggadocio? I made a baby that didn't have a wiener? I mean, it's a strange thing to take to the world to announce, this is a characteristic I want to leave you with. I'm a girl dad. And
imagine
t-shirts about it? What?
just flipping the script like, oh, I'm a boy dad. I love my boy. I'm so happy. I have 3 boys. Thank God. Like, can you imagine, like,
Thank God.
if what if Kobe Bryant, that was his thing? Like, oh man, boys. It was that. No, you have to do the way over the top. Where everyone's trying to get a little currency.
That's
like
right.
A little social currency.
That's what the sequins around his eye count for Zuckerberg's eye, is to announce to the world, look at what a cool guy I look at.
I think you can find it on TMZ. He's literally like showing bracelets he made and that kind of shit. He's a captain of industry. He's making bracelets, like friend bracelets.
Are you more bothered by that or by Eddie Vedder posting pictures of himself? Look what I did. I took my daughter to see Taylor Swift. Which is more damning? Rock and roll hero? Come on, Donovan. That hurts you worse.
It hurts. Yeah.
You don't want that.
Also, so Taylor this week is heading to SoFi for like a few days. I think it's like 4 or 5 days.
Oh, wait. There he is. He's showing his friendship bracelets off.
Oh, boy.
What an achievement.
Yeah. Everyone loves their daughter and has a friendship bracelet.
Hey, yeah,
no
I mean,
stew
what
for
an
Zuckerberg.
announcement to make. Right, that's exactly the point. Oh, you care about your children? What a hero you are.
Yeah, we applaud you.
Low expectation
Yeah.
having, as Chris Rock said.
So it's going to she's going to SoFi, and that'll finish the U.S. leg of the tour. Then she heads off internationally, I think, starting with Mexico. But as she's coming to L.A., we've talked about this, but her tours generate a lot of money for the city, especially with hotels. But right now, there's a strike with the Hotel Hospitality Union. So they have put an ask out to Taylor to please postpone these shows until the strike is negotiated.
Yeah.
Swift's team has not responded.
No.
But they put out the ask, like, please, Taylor, pull it off.
Well, she should tell him to have some asthma. Get the fuck back to work. We ran into some people that were striking. Me and Mike walking through Portland for a burger place. This is like a hamburger
Picketing
place.
in front of a burger place.
Yeah. And then the woman's like, I lost a whole day's wages. And I was like, yeah, because you're picketing. If you'd gone inside and flipped some fucking patties, then you wouldn't be out a day's. You're not going to get paid to picket.
You're kind of asking for too much there.
Yeah. Listen, I demand a full day's pay. I'm going to be out here picketing, trying to make sure people don't enter your business. Yes.
I punched the time clock, though, before I hit the picket line. Don't I get a...
Yeah, I don't know what they wanted. It was unclear what they wanted.
You had to explain that to her, I bet. Yeah. So, well, speaking of go get some asthma, and people are tough to work with, Lizzo is in the news right now.
Say, I heard this.
Yeah, so she's being sued by 3 of her former dancers for a few reasons, but sexual harassment is one of them, creating a hostile work environment. She also pressured one of them to touch a nude performer at an Amsterdam strip club.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Okay. First things first.
Okay.
All her backup dancers are fat, right?
Yeah.
So how fat can you get before you eat your way out of being a Lizzo backup dancer? How big does that buffet have to be before Lizzo pulls you aside?
It's okay, it's too much.
Yeah, like I need you to twerk, but I can't have you on the oxygen while you're doing it. Like,
Really, the razor's edge. we need you. We need you morbidly obese. Don't get me wrong, but
Shaq, my saying is I'm old school. I'm a little more thin Lizzie and a little less fat Lizzo.
Yeah. So one of the dancers said that Lizzo at South by Southwest, she pulled one of the dancers aside and said, "Hey, I feel like you're less committed to your role." And then the dancer described it poorly, by the way, as a thinly veiled concern about her weight. Right. So that's one of the suits. Also, Lizzo would have after parties, and they were routine and non-mandatory, but it was implied like, yeah, you got to go to these because she has it'll provide greater job security because you'll be favored by her. But then she began. So one of them, they went to an Amsterdam strip club where they had to catch dildos launched from the performers' vaginas and eat bananas protruding from the
launched.
Yeah, and eat bananas protruding from the performers' vaginas. One of the cast members, one of the dancers had to touch the breasts of one of the nude women, and she was really upset about that as well.
But I mean, look, if you're going to tour the world with Lizzo as a backup dancer, you get what you signed up for, right? Like you understood the rules of the games. This is a money grab, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Because they were fired. So they're like one instance, and then this is a racial thing. So one of the former dancers asked to be compensated for their downtime at a rate 50% of their weekly pay. And the accountant allegedly responded, "We'll give you 25%, but this is unacceptable and disrespectful." And then so the dancer said, "Only the dance cast, which is comprised of full-figured women of color, were ever spoken to in this manner."
Well, so Lizzo's fucked because Lizzo just hires people who are women of color and who they're women of color and they're fat. So that's 3 intersectional points you got working for yourself. And then when they quit, they can say it was race-based, it was size-based, it was gender-based. This is all 3-based. So they're always going to have a lawsuit, and she's always just going to have to pay him.
Yeah, one dancer was so upset and fearful that she'd lose her job that she went to the bathroom, soiled her pants. She was given a see-through outfit with no undergarments to finish the performance.
What the hell? She soiled herself because she was sad.
She was so scared she'd lose her job because
maybe it was the shrimp at the all-you-can-eat buffet that caused you to do that. It's fascinating, Ace, what you say, because you're right. Lizzo, if the judge doesn't know who Lizzo is, and one of the backup dancers walks in there, 300 pounds, like, yeah, I was told by my employer that I was too heavy and everything else. If you don't know who Lizzo is, you'd be like, well, obviously you have a case here. Look at you. Yeah, of course. If somebody said that's an interesting point you could make, that Lizzo being, because then it would require her prosecutor to then accuse Lizzo, like, or the defendant of Lizzo to announce, like, my client is fat herself. She would not say that somebody's fat because she's fat.
I would also argue, if I was defending Lizzo, that we went to the strip club and this fat bitch was already eating a banana. She got so fucked up she fell forward and shoved it into that stripper's cunt. If anyone should be suing anybody here, it's the stripper at the club who was violated with this fat ass's banana. That would be my argument.
Ugly story. I did like that Donovan started it by saying that the accuser said it was a thinly veiled. That's ironic.
Thin. Yeah, that's a
good name for Lizzo's next record, Thinly Veiled.
So there's some reports that are kind of anti-Elon coming out. One of them is, well, first off, let's just talk about that big X that he put over.
Elon who?
Elon, I know. That they put over the company formerly known as Twitter's building. It was a X that lit up and kind of just it was very bright. It had a strobing effect, and people who lived across from it were really upset because it was quite distracting. There's video of it. You can just see it flashing. That would ruin your night, I'm sure. It actually lit up the building next to it. It was so bright. So they received so many complaints that they had to take it down.
Well, so the whole thing about San Francisco, it's the whole thing about LA is kind of this way. It's like you're never going to pull a permit and get it approved for anything. There's no way Elon Musk going to go through the proper channels and go down to building and safety and whatever. It's an impossibility. So what you're better off doing now is just do it and then have them come and shut you down. Yeah. It'd be like asking the cops if you can throw a party. Just throw the party. Cops will show up at some point. But you see how long you can do it before somebody shows up.
Right. So there's that. They couldn't take down the Twitter sign either. So for some reason they were the law wouldn't let them take down their Twitter sign, but they.
Well, that's the other thing is he probably doesn't have any friends at the city council over in San Francisco. He's pissed them off, and I think if history has taught us anything, those fucks will be super vengeful about people who disagree with them politically, so they will throw their might behind anything. So he's not going to be able to do anything.
And he said, I think or whoever said that, they never intended to keep that thing up anyway.
Yeah, it's all stunt anyway. I mean, it was so bright. There's no way. And Tesla is also in the news because it's been reported that they created a secret team to cancel owners' service appointments about the range of their vehicles, the distances that they can drive.
Yeah, where's Ralph Nader when you need him? Because every time I talk to someone with a fully electric vehicle, I was just on my friend Matt, and I'm like, oh, he said, I'm going to Vegas. I want to drive my Ford Lightning truck or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. But he's like, but I can't because the range says 305 and Vegas is like 275, but it's not going to, it doesn't
Really?
Yeah, that's everyone's highway mileage, especially.
So are electric cars, I don't know enough about it. Are they just, are the sides of roads littered with those now?
No.
People just like, I didn't know. I thought I didn't know, and it's not the same as running out of gas. AAA doesn't. Does AAA now? Do the pickups now standardly come with chargers? They must, right?
They must have some modality for that. I don't know if it's AAA, but I've talked to people who drove from San Diego and to Napa, and they just put it into their drive if they have a Tesla. But I've heard, and this guy has a Ford, so the mileage is a lot less than what they say it is,
right.
and then also it gets eaten up on the highway a lot faster than it does, and the opposite of internal combustion, highway mileage being better. And also, when I talk to people about it, they're like, the infrastructure isn't really there. Like your app may say pull over in Baker and use, and then you get there and it's not working, or there's 4 cars in front of you, and each one's going to take a half hour on the fast whatever. So it's like it's not quite there yet. Like, as a matter of fact, like here we are in California, here we are in Los Angeles. Want to go up north to Laguna Seca for a car race in a few weeks, trying to figure out a car, and I'm like, wouldn't it be great if we could take your brand new Ford, all electric, whatever? And it's like, yeah, but we can't, because we don't know that there's places to stop along the way to charge. And we should be the tip of the spear here. I mean, between Los Angeles and San Francisco, if there's any run in the world that should have that one figured out, we don't yet.
Yeah, the infrastructure's not there yet.
I had no idea, because obviously to my eye, I'm never looking for it. It seems like there are tons of too many spaces for electric car only when you go into a parking lot in LA.
I think, I know, I've seen them. I've seen a lot of Tesla ones. I think it's the other companies that are a little bit further behind. And I also think, we don't have it worked out where you don't know if someone's there before you or if the thing's inoperable or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so Tesla has exaggerated the driving range of its vehicles for years. And so Reuters reported that they created a secret diversion team to cancel appointments when people called. Like, their mission was just cancel them as soon as they get them. Tell them there's nothing wrong with their car so it doesn't get reported. And then every time they would cancel a report, team members would celebrate by placing their phone on mute and ringing a gong like a xylophone and celebrating. What the hell? Yeah.
A gong like xylophone?
Yeah, that's what was in the report. I don't.
What's a gong like?
I would say, I don't know. I would think it was just a xylophone that you would just ring.
Beep, boop,
Maybe the
boop,
lowest
beep,
note on the xylophone. I don't know.
What's the difference? Check.
Boop.
What's the difference between a xylophone and vibes?
Man, what the hell do I know? I
thought you knew something about jazz.
Some jizz. What do I know? That's the musician over here, Donovan. I don't know.
What's the difference between
one's wood and one's metal?
I think that's it.
I believe the
and
vibes are
metal. Bigger,
right?
Or no, you were there.
So close.
I think the vibes are wood, and I think it's
that
bigger.
sounds right.
And it's freestanding. Yeah. I think. All right, keep going.
Got to be a weirdo to want to play the xylophone, though, right?
I don't know. I mean, there's that. Let's see.
Like the oboe is the weirdest, but or tuba. If you're like, you gotta join. If you're from a family like one of your parents, like you gotta play an instrument in this house. Mm-hmm. Like if you settle on tuba, you're being a stinker, but you're really only punishing yourself.
What's a big vibes xylophone song? I think we can figure this out.
Tubular Bells.
No, I mean,
think of a 80s song.
Oh
Dawson.
No, I got it. Oh God, I'm trying to think. What the fuck is that band? Who's the band that sings.
Tears for Fears has a song, Change.
I don't even know what it, yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah, Tears for Fears.
But yeah, I can think of that sound.
That could be synthesized, though. I think that's synthesized.
Change. You can change.
I think that's synthesized.
Maybe.
But I think I have a better example. Shit. All right. Who sings Blister in the Sun? Is that
Violent Femme.
Violent Femmes. Now, is this real or is it synthesized?
Dawson and Donovan are
shit.
musicians. They better know.
I think it's synthesized.
I think
I
it
think
is
so too.
Play Day After Day or whatever it is by the Violent Femmes, which has Day. Oh God, what is the Violent Femmes' other song?
I always feel bad too for the symphony guys who have to dress up in their tuxedos to go and play with Slash and Guns N' Roses.
Oh, yeah. all
Must
those
be a
looks.
low point. I brought this up and people are like, "Oh, it must have been a thrill for those squares to go and play with."
It's probably
with
so
Guns-
basic for them.
I think it would be embarrassing. Like, no, count me out. I'm not some prop to play my violin for a couple of things that so Slash can take over on November Rain. You know, it's pretentious to involve a band, a full symphony. But who do you think you are? Go make your rock and roll.
Gone Daddy Gone.
Oh, there you go.
All right. What did that guy go on to do? Is he alive? We'll figure it
Track him
out.
down.
All downhill after that. It's the high point of his life.
Yeah. He must have. You guys know that song?
Sure.
I don't.
It was a hit.
Really? You, Donovan? I
know
just assume
violin-
musicians know every rock and roll
I
song.
don't. You'd be
You guys
surprised
really
if-
don't know that song?
No,
you don't-
Chris is the only
Chris
person
did
that doesn't
not-
know that song.
Yeah,
And that's
Gnarls
so hard
Barkley,
to
right?
believe,
Aaron,
yeah.
you know that one, right?
Sure do.
What
Damn
the
it, Aaron.
fuck, Chris? Why don't you know that
I don't
song?
know. I can't place it. I don't know.
Violent Femmes, their whole bit is that they're going acoustic with punk music. But I can't believe, unless I'm unaware of it, that no punk band ever covered their music in a true punk sense. Wouldn't their songs generally sound good if you applied some hardcore sound to it?
Yeah.
Some distortion.
You do that next, Donovan, after you learn the xylophone.
You got it.
All right. What did that xylophone player go on to do? Or is he still just touring with the band?
Doesn't seem like much.
No.
Yeah, just playing in obscure songs.
Get them in here.